So let's talk about something that's, well, it's pretty subtle, but I think it's also incredibly profound. What's the actual difference between a childhood that's just busy and one that's truly deep? We're going to unpack that idea today.
Wow, yeah. That really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It kind of suggests that in our rush to fill up our kids' lives, maybe we're letting something really essential slip through the cracks. And notice the key word there isn't busy. It's always busy. That's the part that matters.
So why do we do it? Why do we feel this pull to fill every single moment? I mean, it almost always comes from a really good place, right? It's rooted in this cultural belief, let's call it the myth of more. You know, our culture pretty much equates activity with achievement. We're taught to think that more classes, more stimulation, more exposure, that's how you build a better foundation for your kids. And look, on the surface, that makes total sense. Being busy feels productive. It feels like we're doing the right thing, giving them every single advantage we can.
But here's the question we have to ask ourselves. What's the hidden cost? What are the trade-offs? You know, what's really happening in the background when the foreground is just constantly full of noise and activity?
Okay, and I really want to be clear about this. Stimulation is not the enemy here, not at all. The real issue is saturation. It's about what happens when there's simply no room left for any quiet. So let's take a look at how the brain actually adapts to that.
It's actually a pretty simple neurological thing, you know? Our brains are designed to adapt to whatever they experience the most. So when a brain is just constantly being fed input, from screens, schedules, instructions, it literally learns to expect that input. And then what happens? Well, silence starts to feel uncomfortable, a little awkward, maybe even anxiety-inducing. Stillness just feels weird.
And the costs of that are pretty specific. For one, without any downtime, a kid's tolerance for boredom just plummets. They kind of lose the habit of turning inward and using their imagination. And maybe, just maybe, the most important thing is they miss out on that quiet time they need to just process their feelings and everything that's happened to them.
Okay, so if that's the cost, what's the alternative? Well, that brings us to this really beautiful idea, something we can call the architecture of quiet. It's about all the essential things that can only grow in stillness. And this is such a powerful way to reframe things. See, boredom isn't a problem we need to solve. It's actually the soil where creativity and self-discovery start to grow. That wandering, aimless play, that's not wasted time, not at all. It's literally how a child builds their entire inner world, piece by piece. Think about it. When the nervous system finally gets a chance to just settle, a few really important things start to happen. Creativity isn't something you have to force. It just kind of emerges on its own. A child actually starts to hear their own thoughts, and that's how they form a real sense of self. That's integration in action. It's in those quiet pauses that a kid can actually make sense of everything they've been through.
And all of this kind of builds to one core idea that I think clarifies everything. It's this really crucial distinction between developing a skill and developing an identity.
Here it is, plain and simple. Activities, they're fantastic for building skills. Things like learning piano or playing soccer or coding. But identity, that deep sense of who you are when no one is telling you what to do, that develops in the pause, in the stillness. And here's the thing, both are absolutely vital.
So when we talk about creating quiet time, this isn't about pulling a child away from the world or, denying them opportunities, not at all. It's really an act of what we could call neurological protection. You are actively, consciously protecting their ability to build a stable and resilient inner world.
Now, I know this might all sound like some huge, drastic shift, but the solution really isn't. It can start with just one simple, protective practice, something that feels totally achievable, not overwhelming.
What is it? It's just this. One quiet window each day. That's it. Just one. We're not talking about a whole day of unstructured silence here, just a single intentional window of quiet.
And the rules, well, they're pretty key to making it work. No screens providing that external input, no instructions telling them what they should be doing, and this one is really important. No correcting how they use the time, because the goal here isn't productivity.
The goal is just space. That's it. Just giving them space. Space for their nervous system to settle down, for their imagination to wander, and for their true identity to really start to take root. Which really leaves us with this final thought. In a world that is just so full of noise and speed by default, a child's inner depth, well, it's not something that's just going to happen by accident. It's something we have to consciously and I think lovingly protect.